This is a math lesson called the estimation jar, and this is one of my very favorite lessons because this is one that you will be able to use with a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, all the way up to a 10-year-old. And it's called the estimation jar because what the children are going to do is it's a guessing game. They're going to guess how many is inside the jar. So the purpose of this lesson is it develops curiosity in kids. They're going to love the idea of guessing. It's going to become a family event. Many times what we do with the estimation jar work is we put it on the shelf, any kind of a jar with a lid, and a tray, and a little basket with pieces of paper. And everyone in the family can take turns guessing how many items are inside the jar. And then at the end of the week, you get to open up the jar and count how many things, and then you find out who was the closest to guessing. So things you will need for the estimation jar are, you will need a variety of things for good choices to put in your estimation jar. When you're starting with very young children, the bigger the objects, the better. So with a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, I would start out with things like Easter eggs or ping pong balls. You want to make it very easy for the child to find success. So the idea is you're going to guess how many objects are in this jar. And they can pick it up and turn it around and count. And then, as I said earlier, you can either write it on a piece of paper or just guess. And then at the end of the week, or you can add some anticipation to the game by finding out later in the week when you open it up and figure out how many. So for the young child, Easter eggs or ping pong balls or different colored golf balls, and the color differentiation will help them count more easily. As they get older, the items can get smaller. So here we have different colored chips that they can count. So you'd put all these inside, close the lid, leave it on your shelf, and then they can all take turns. Even when they have friends come over, they can take turns guessing how many. Now, as your child gets older, they're going to need more of a challenge. They're going to like more of a challenge. So you can do things like marbles, game pieces, and when your child gets really old, let's say a grade school age child, you can even use little beads. This way they're guessing large numbers. They're really having to look in a small area. Well, if there's 10 beads in that 1-inch square area, how many square inches approximately is that? So how many teeny beads could be in that jar? It is a great problem-solving game. It's fun, and the kids love doing it. We want to show you how we count the objects in the classroom. After you've had the estimation jar out and the children have all made their guess as to how many they think are in there, then it's very exciting to get the jar off the shelf. You'll get your rug out so the kids can get their physical movement walking around the rug, and it's time to open up. And there's always a big anticipation as to who got the number correct and how many are in there. So with the younger children, obviously you'll just have a few objects, and this will be an opportunity to practice counting. 1, 2, 3. So for the younger children, they can practice their numbers, practice counting, and it's a great opportunity. Now when your kids get older, I just want to show you how far this work can go. So let's say your kids are older now and you have put small beads in your estimation jar. So just like with the very young children, you're going to take this off the shelf. It's time to count and find out. So you're going to pour the beads on a rug. And this is great opportunity for older kids to learn, for instance, counting by 5s or counting by 10s. So you can have a group of children here. We'd love to do this in the classroom. Everyone make a pile of 10, and then we're going to learn to count by 10. So this could be maybe for 5 or 6-year-olds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you have several children, you're going to all make piles of 10. So with the magic of television, all the piles are now in order. So we've got 10 beads in each pile. So what the children can do, I'm going to pretend that there's 2 extra over here. So now we have to count by 10s. And this is a great lesson because that's a lesson counting by 10s later. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 161, 162. So obviously we have gone from the simplest of estimation jar counting to very complicated. There are so many levels in between that you will want to do. So you would obviously never go from Easter eggs to teeny tiny beads. But this gives you an idea of how far this lesson can go and how you can start off counting. You know, when you first do the teeny tiny beads, you probably wouldn't want to put over 100 beads. You'd want to start with the smaller beads at 90 or 92, because going from 100 to a 110 is a big step. So make sure you go gradually in increments. This estimation jar work is something that you can use in your home for 5 years or more. It can constantly be changing. You can do it every week, but if you feel the children are getting a little bored with it, as always, put it away for a while. Put it away for a month or so, get it back out. But this is a wonderful way for children to practice counting, learning their numbers, and it develops a curiosity about numbers and math.